Today marks 1 year since the struggling Hempstead School District on Long Island ousted its superintendent, an educator brought in as a reformer. Now he is blasting the district for wasting precious money paying him and lawyers leading the charge against him. CBSN New York's Carolyn Gusoff, who's been closely following this story with a fantastic documentary as well, is on it right now, joining us from Hempstead. Carolyn, what's the latest?
Well, good afternoon, Dana. As you well know, Dr. Shimon Waronker was dismissed just a few months after he was brought in to reform the Hempstead School District. He was kicked out, that is, just as he was reporting to law enforcement that he had suspicions about corruption in the district. But 1 year later, he is still being paid and facing district charges of misconduct with no hearing even scheduled in his case. And he calculates that the district has spent nearly $400,000 in legal fees on his case alone.
It's been difficult. It's been a difficult year. I pray a lot, especially for the families and children of Hempstead, and I've been learning a lot of Torah, which is the Bible, and these are all good things. And of course, we intend to win, and we intend to be reinstated.
It is a crime that dollar amount is being utilized for the purposes of trying to destroy a man's reputation who did nothing but come forward and say, I want to help. He did not have to come to Hempstead.
Now, just moments ago, we heard from the lawyer for the school district, Jonathan Schur. He says it's like an arsonist complaining that too much water is being used to put out a fire. He says that Waronker is guilty of bid rigging by bringing in his own foundation to turn around the district, and that he has no right now to complain about all the money that's been used to fight the legal case against him. So right now, a district that could ill afford any extra expenses, the struggling Hempstead School District, paying not only Waronker but now an acting superintendent and lawyers hundreds of thousands of dollars to fight this case.
All right, Carolyn, a lot of questions here. In what way does the district claim Waronker is guilty of this bid rigging stuff?
Well, the case against him basically is that he utilized his own foundation. He hired master teachers that he had used previously, he had employed previously. But he was brought in by a different school board who welcomed all that. They recruited him because he had this foundation. So then the political tides turned in the district, and a new school board believed that ousted him and argued that his use of his own foundation amounted to bid rigging. So that's at the heart of this district case against him, which has yet to be scheduled.
Would he want his job back?
I'm sorry?
Would he want his job back, do you think?
Would he? That's a good question, Dana. And he says yes. I mean, even in this climate of an entire school board that is against him, he does still enjoy some community support and is driven by a mission. And he says that he would welcome it back and would still like to make a difference in one of the, most failing school districts in America.
Failing, and of course we know the number 37% was the title of your documentary, talking about the number, just make sure I'm correct here, the number of students who graduate, is that right?
Well, that was what it was in 2017,
Correct.
And it's been in the 30s. It's been in the 40s for years, 40%, that is. This last year, we're waiting for the numbers to be official. Preliminary numbers showed they might have been in around 50%. That would still put it in contention for one of the worst graduation rates, though, in the nation.
And just quickly before I let you go, because of watching your documentary several times, and one of the things that stunned me, and just talking about the students who are at the heart of these issues that you're talking about, who were scheduled for classes that didn't even exist, or whatever variety of problems, they were not being educated properly. What are you hearing from them and their families?
Well, students, they've been living with this for so many decades here that it's kind of the norm. You know, when you're so close to something, it's hard to know what it's like in other school districts. So, you know, the chaos, you know, we haven't heard anything recently about new chaos. There's still violence in the schools. But all I can tell you is that the state is monitoring the situation, and they claim that progress is being made on the front lines in the classrooms. But the folks today at this press conference who support Waronker believe that any reports of progress is just completely fabricated and false.
Okay, Carolyn Gusoff, more on this for quite some time, I'm sure, thinking about those students. Thank you, Carolyn.